talk to Dr. Bradshaw. I don't know how persuasive I was, but I have a hunch he's going to talk to his attorney, and I'm hoping he'll advise Arthur to drop the hearing. I pointed out that nobody ever wins in these battles.
The hospital always loses.
Yeah. I agree, Jesse. And besides, from what I understand, neither side has any evidence.
Noah, Lee said that he might have Bradshaw drop the hearing.
Well, now, that's what we're hoping. I know Steve is very upset about all this.
Well, we all are.
You know, it's such a tragic thing when something like this happens in a hospital. It becomes a personal vendetta.
Yeah, we all agree on that.
I don't know why Bradshaw's been changing his mind so often anyway.
Well, I don't either. I thought he was going to drop the hearing entirely.
Well, he was when Joe and I spoke to him. That was the last thing we heard. Now, for some reason, he's changed his mind.
Well, let's hope when he talks to his attorney, they both decide to drop it all again. And incidentally, I have time for a cup of coffee. Anybody want to join me?
Well, I think we all would, huh, Noah? Okay, later on.
Anne, could I speak to you for a moment? Why not? The day can't get any worse, can it? Jesse, you do without me for a few minutes.
Sure, go ahead.
Great. Thank you.
Dr. Schaefer, call the lobby desk. Dr. Schaefer, call the lobby desk.
So, Heather, what is it this time?
Well, I overheard everyone talking about Dr. Bradshaw. I think they're right. He must have some kind of personal vendetta against you. Because you don't deserve treatment like that.
Heather, I was under the assumption that you were pro-Bradshaw.
No, not at all. Not after what he's done to you. I think he must be some kind of sadistic monster.
I don't know what he is.
Well, he's wrong. You don't deserve this treatment you're getting. I mean, it was punishment enough that you got suspended. And if he goes through with this hearing, I hope you win.
Would you mind explaining to me why you feel this way? I mean, I'm really curious.
Well, despite what personal feelings they may have about each other, I think you're a fine nurse, and I'd hate to see your reputation ruined by someone like Dr. Bradshaw.
I think your office is becoming a very mysterious place.
Oh, I've often said that myself. What makes you say it? Could I borrow a pencil?
Sure.
Thanks.
Well, Robert Scorpio went in, and he came out like a man possessed running down the hall. What are you doing?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me.
Well, let's just say I have looked into the future, and it doesn't work.
You're, what, a fortune teller?
Yeah, you might say that. You might say I was doing some fortune-telling. And I don't mind admitting, I hope I was wrong. Thanks.
Sure.
So, who did it?
Okay, before you say anything, I saw Katz. He looked into the future. He said that Laura will be physically unable to get on board that plane.
Oh, man, Jack is in for a rough time.
It'll be rougher on Laura. I mean, he pointed out that this whole experience will be traumatic, probably painful. Now, I think the next move is obvious.
Well, we have to stop them.
Airport?
Yeah, I know what flight they're on because I booked myself on the same one, but I think we still have time to reach them at the Croydon Hotel.
Do you think it's at all possible to reason with Jack?
It's not been possible for me so far, but maybe if we tell her what Katz said, she'll, I don't know, maybe she'll come.
Okay, he was specific about one thing. He said if she tries to get on that plane, the whole thing is going to be horrendous.
All right, man, let's get over there and see if we can get this thing taken care of.
New Amsterdam Airways on Flight 217 to Albany will be boarding in a few moments. New Amsterdam Airways
Judson,
on Flight
how are you?
217 to Albany
See you,
will be
Arthur.
boarding in a
But
few
this will have
moments.
to be brief, I'm afraid. I can't miss my continuing flight to Albany.
All right, well then, I won't waste time with preliminaries. I may well be the defendant in a defamation of character suit. Now, the plaintiff is a nurse, and she'll ask for damages.
Can you summarize it for me?
I've been extremely overworked since I moved up to Port Charles, Judson. As you know, I've been problems in New York to contend with also.
Well, who's threatening a defamation suit against you?
A nurse named Ann Logan. And I'm demanding a hospital hearing against her, charging her with incompetence. Now, if she's discharged as a result of the hearing, then she'll file suit against me in civil court.
Was she incompetent?
No, but I can explain.
I think you'd better.
Well, the woman has a personal grudge against me, Judson. I mean, it's more than a grudge. It's...
Arthur, with time of the essence here, could we just stick to the basic facts?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, some weeks ago, I operated on a Mrs. Frances Newell. Now, the surgery itself was routine, and it went well, but shortly after that, the patient died of a pulmonary embolism. It's a blood clot.
Go on.
Well, this nurse, Ann Logan, was not only on duty, but she had formed a personal relationship with Mrs. Newell.
So far, I fail to see anyone at fault.
Okay, I'm getting to that. You see, actually, I started surgery before I'd received the patient's PTT tests. And when I finally did see them later, why, they recommended a preoperative administration of heparin. Now, that's an anticoagulant.
Then, reducing this to the basic facts, you performed surgery without administering a required preoperative drug. Is that it?
Well, yes, but there's more. After the patient died, well, I added the drug to a pre-op medication list. And when it became evident that the drug was not administered, I pointed to my order, and I blamed Ann Logan for not giving it. See, in short, it's a stalemate unless I admit to adding the drug to the list after the patient died.
You haven't admitted that, have you?
No. Of course not.
Nor will you, at least at this juncture. Tell me, would this drug have saved the patient's life?
Probably not.
Then I fail to see the significance.
When the patient first came to me, I learned that she was routinely taking birth control pills to correct a hormone imbalance. Now, in my judgment, corrective surgery was indicated, and I performed it.
Let me put this question to you, Arthur. What did you fail to do which a reasonable surgeon would have done?
Knowing the patient was over 35, a heavy smoker, with a history of clotting and on birth control pills, I should have taken her off the birth control pills well in advance of the surgery.
And you did not?
No.
Would you describe that as negligence?
Oh, I would. And so would any competent doctor.
Is that the full extent of your culpability, Arthur?
No, I did more. First, as I said, I went ahead with the surgery before I saw the lab report.
Can that be proved?
Oh, yes, definitely. The lab report had a time stamp on it. Now, that could prove that I began to operate before I possibly could have read it.
Go on, Arthur. What else did you do?
The lab report clearly indicated that I should have ordered heparin before surgery. Now, since I didn't, I had to cover myself. Now, as I said, I wrote an order for heparin on the patient's chart after the patient had died.
Is there more?
Yeah. When the autopsy report arrived, it indicated there was no heparin administered. So I pointed to the chart, and I accused Ann Logan of failing to carry out my order for heparin prior to surgery.
Then is it your word against hers?
I wish it were, but the fact is that Ann compared the time on the lab report and the time I began surgery, and that told her conclusively there was no way that I could have seen the lab report and ordered heparin pre-op.
How did you explain you did order it?
Well, I just said that it was a routine precaution, but that, of course, that was a lie.
Well, let's go back a moment, Arthur. You said a major factor in the patient's death was that she was taking birth control pills.
Yes, that's correct.
Is there a written record of that?
Well, as I said before, it was clearly indicated on the last page of the patient's history, but that page has been stolen.
By you?
Well, no, I considered taking it, but I didn't.
Then who did?
A girl named Heather Weber. She works in admissions at the hospital, and for reasons going way, way, way back, she hates Ann Logan.
Then we can consider this Heather Weber sympathetic to you.
I thought so, but just today, I realize this is bizarre, but I heard her telling Ann Logan that I am a monster.
Sorry, I'm confused.
So am I. All I can conclude is this. Heather is psychotic, She's under continuing treatment with our staff psychiatrist. Either she's paranoid or she's planning to blackmail me. I have no idea which.
Don't let her bluff you, Arthur. If she has this missing page from the patient's history, demand to see it.
All right. And then what?
Let's make that decision when you know what this Weber woman's game is.
New Amsterdam Airways, continuing flight 217
That's
for
my
Albany
feeling.
is now boarding at gate.
Oh, you might do one more thing before we meet
New
again on
Amsterdam
this.
Airways, continuing flight 217.
Find out more about this Heather Weber, in
Gate
particular, why she has this apparent hatred for Ann Logan. If we go to trial, that could make all the difference in the world.
I'll do that. Thank you very much, Judson. I appreciate it.
Taxi should be downstairs. We should get going to the airport. Our luggage is already down there. Jackie, please. Laura, come on. Let's not argue. Let's go, okay?
Listen, can I talk to you for a couple of minutes? It's very important. I'm serious.
All right, that's about all I've got is a couple of minutes.
Okay, look, Laura, why don't you and I go out into the hall and have a little chat?
Robert, please talk rather than making me go. Please, I've tried to tell her.
Fine, sweetheart. Come on, come inside and tell me all about it.
All right, now look. Dr. Katz said that it will be physically impossible for her to get on that plane. If you try to force her, you can do her some very serious harm.
Yes.
Yes. Not only harm, but pain. He used the word pain, Jackie. He said it would be a real trauma for her.
Are you through?
Isn't that enough?
No, but I will tell you what is enough. I'm going to get my sister out of this town and away from danger and get her some professional help because that's what she needs.
Even knowing that you could harm her very seriously by doing that.
Who says it will? Your precious little Dr. Katz. I mean, he's seen her twice and he's come up with nothing. Do you think I should start trusting and believing him now?
I think you're making a real serious mistake. You're talking about your sister's well-being. Don't you even care?
You bet I care. And that's why I want to get her out of here. Now, if you don't mind, I think I'm going to enter the
All right, now look. I am not a man that begs. But, Jackie, please, look at me. Please don't do this to your sister. Please.
Please let me go. Please let me go. Laura, come on.
No luck, obviously.
It's like talking to a stone wall. How was it with the other one?
Like talking to a frightened child.
Oh, damn it, Rob. Why doesn't she realize that she can really hurt her sister by going through with this?
Because she's under the impression that what she's doing is the right thing.
Well, she's not doing the right thing. She's going to learn it the hard way.
So what do we do?
I
Hope for a miracle?
No, I think we should go to the airport. Go there as fast as possible and do whatever we can do.
Come on.
Let's keep her from making this mistake.
I don't.
Oh, Liam, I'm glad I caught you.
Well, I'm just waiting for Gail.
Well, I was just telling Noah that you had a talk with Arthur Bradshaw. How did it go?
Well, it was inconclusive. I do think I persuaded him to tell the whole story to his attorney, though. That could help.
In what way?
Well, he's being represented by Judson Briggs of New York City. I happen to know that he's a very level-headed and astute attorney. My hope is that he will advise Bradshaw to drop the hearing. I mean, a man like Briggs certainly can see there's no point in this kind of involvement.
Then let's hope Arthur follows his advice. And thanks, Lee. I know you did your best.
Oh, Steve, there is no thanks necessary. I mean, my first responsibility around here is to protect the interests and the reputation of the hospital, wouldn't you say?
Well, sure, I'll be glad to see the end of this. We all have patients who could use our energies much better. I'll be glad to see the end of it, that's for sure. I'm going to go for a quick lunch. Would anyone like to join me?
Oh, I'll have to take a rain check on that. No, I have meetings straight through the day.
Okay.
Keep me advised on Bradshaw, will you, Steve?
Don't worry, Lee. Whatever happens, you'll be the first person to know.
Lizzie, where's Heather Weber?
Well, in her office in admissions, I assume. You want me to call her for you?
No, I'll do it myself, thanks.
How are things going down at the sports center? With all that violence down on the waterfront, I would think things might be kind of rough.
Well, don't worry about it. We got things pretty much under control now.
Good.
Dr. Bradshaw? All right, where is it? Let me see it.
What are you talking about, Doctor?
You know what I'm talking about, that missing page from the Newell file.
Oh, what's the matter? Don't you think I have it?
I don't know whether you have it or not. You're trying to blackmail me. I haven't even seen any of the evidence. I mean, for all I know, you may have just seen it. You may just be remembering what was on the page.
I think blackmail's a pretty strong word, Dr. Bradshaw. But just so you know that I do have it, I'll show it to you. Are you satisfied? And don't worry, that isn't the original copy, in case you were wondering. I've made up many duplicates, as a matter of fact. I have some of them in my safety deposit box, and others could turn up just about anywhere.
And where's the original?
That's locked up in my safety deposit box, too. But if you don't come through for me, Doctor, those copies are going to rain down on this hospital like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, I believe it. I just don't understand you, Heather.
What don't you understand? We both want the same thing, to get rid of Ann Logan.
That's what I thought, but I just heard you talking to Ann Logan against me. I heard you saying that I was a monster.
No, you're wrong. I didn't say that.
I heard you.
Well, you heard me wrong, Dr. Bradshaw. After all, I'm on your side. You must know that by now.
I don't know what I know anymore. All I know is that I am totally confused. Totally.
Well, this ought to do it. You better start packing, Ann Logan. Because I'm about to destroy you. So completely that even Joe Kelly won't be able to pick up the pieces.
Listen, we'll see you people later, all right? You ready, honey?
I am ready and starving.
Well, you're always
We'll be back
starving.
at 2, Jesse.
Okay.
Jesse, is Dr. Katz still treating Heather Weber?
Yes, he is, Arthur.
Thank you. I just want to be sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
So, hi.
Oh, hello, Arthur.
Hi, I was going to call you later.
Any particular reason?
Oh, no, I just thought that maybe we might see more of each other, you know.
Hey, what can you do? Duty calls, right?
Yeah. You know, you're a bachelor, and I am too, technically, so...
What does that mean?
Well, you know, my wife is back in New York, and I'm kind of here alone, and Port Charles. I was just wondering, how about us bachelors getting together for dinner tonight?
Sounds like a nice idea.
The Haunted Star, Luke Spencer's new place?
Sounds good to me, Arthur.
You're on. Sounds good to me, too.
When to taste those things?
New Amsterdam Airways Flight 408 nonstop to New York City is now loading at gate 6.
Lord, this is it. Come on, we've got to board the plane.
Please be sure you have
Come on, honey, don't get we've got to get on the
New Amsterdam Airways.
We've got to get
No, Jackie, no! I cannot go! No, please, let me go! Let me go! No, I can't go!
She's all right, folks. It's okay. It's all right. Huh?
Sorry.
I can't get on the plane.
Sure. I'm telling you, we'll help you.
On All My Children,
Let the contest begin.
a beauty contest is the chance for Jenny's dream to come true.
You're the winner in this family, baby. I don't want you to forget that.
She's got everyone behind her.
We're gonna win this thing hands down.
Oh, wouldn't that be great?
I'm gonna be the envy of every guy in town.
But Liza is making plans to stop that dream.
Jenny Gardner's in for a big surprise.
Without further ado, the envelope.
Who will win? All My Children.
This is David Hartman. Tomorrow reports on the Falkland Islands and the President's arms reduction proposals, plus Christy Brinkley and Susan Lucci on Good Morning America.
Tomorrow, Joni and Jenny are headed for a showdown when Jenny's dad turns up in town. Phil Silvers guest stars on Happy Days. After, look in on Squiggy's Wildest Dream, where Shirley's dying for him and Laverne is ready to kill for him on Laverne and Shirley. Spencer and Nora team up to keep Raven under their power. Watch The Edge of Night following FYI next.